What ultimately happened with Powell when it came to an end?
Oh, when it came to an end.
Yeah,
Times change.
Yeah.
It's just
was skateboarding hitting that wave again, or were you just
no. Skateboarding. So
they were riding the wave.
Yeah, we were riding their wave, and it's like the same thing. It's like you get on this train that you think nothing can go wrong, and we're in the arena doing the same thing over and over and over, and street skating is really changing.
Yeah, starting.
Not that street skating wasn't there. I mean, I can go back to Whittier. Like, we've had these conversations. Like, even Stacy did a little post the other day of John Lucero and Richard Armijo. They got locals at Whittier. They got kicked out of the park. And all they would do was skate and imitate all the stuff on the curbs.
Just doing slappies.
Yeah, this is where slappies came out. Board slides, inverts, and all that stuff. So everyone comes to the contest, and Stacy and Stesic see those guys doing it. They come back and actually talk to them about possibly representing their brand. They're going to do little boards and street. They see, Stacy sees where it's going to go.
Sees where it's going, yeah.
I think John basically, I know John and them were like, yeah, we don't want to do that. Can you just get us back in the park?
Oh, shit.
They didn't do it.
No.
They didn't do it. They didn't really take that opportunity, but they saw what it was doing, and he saw what the kids were potentially doing. And there was a change. It wasn't, everyone street skated, everyone skateboarded. Before we rode parks, we rode the streets.
Sure.
You know, there's that time, like I was talking about, like, all we wanted to do when people were doing 360s is I just wanted to go down the sidewalk and up the driveway and down the sidewalk and up the driveway, and then there's a bush and the surf thing.
Yeah, of course.
That's all you want to do, and then that kept going steeper and steeper to vert. So everyone skated street, curbs, everything.
Right.
Roll on the curbs. They messed with it. But because they were outside, they really developed a couple more things.
So what did the tide was shifting more towards street skating?
Yeah, bottom line, Stacy picked young guys, raised them up.
Right.
And Steve came along and stole them.
Pretty much.
That's really what has happened. He was raising up dudes in an old way, where Caballero basically won contests for a year and a half before he got a board. Guy Mariano, Rudy Johnson, these guys are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to build them up. I feel very guilty because I think that was my assignment.
Take them under your wing.
For me to take them under their wing and kind of carry it on from there, and maybe I have a brand under them. Tony maybe have a brand under them. All these things, because that's where it was going.
Okay.
I don't think that's really where George wanted to go. It's definitely not. I mean, I was doing it. I was filming. I was doing stuff, but I wasn't doing what Stacy did. I didn't give up my life to go, I'm done. I'm going to raise these guys.
Right. You were still doing it.
And other companies came along. Well, Steve came along and was just like, offered him it all right now.
Yeah, Rocco.
Yeah, he came around and said, hey, we'll give you it all right now. So, Mike V first. It's like, and so at that state, how does Stacy compete? He wasn't going to play that game, and I think it really just hurtful and hard, and not what does Stacy do?
Yeah,
if it's not the same world, and I'm not going to play that game, where do I go and what do I do? And so Stacy, he raised up other guys. Ray Barbie came along, which was a great choice.
Yeah.
But the choices were less.
Gotcha.
And I would arguably say the greats were taken. Right?
Yeah.
Guy turns out to be great. Does he not?
Guy Mariano.
And the greats started playing with, and bottom line, they wanted to hang out with Gons.
No, right.
I wanted to hang out with Gons at that time.
Yeah.
But plus,
blind video came out. I was like, can I
you want to
play with you guys?
right.
I had been already playing with Mark for a long time. And
Sure.
I'm like, we had already started going in that direction. Like, Stacy's our leader, Jay's our leader, Alva's our leader, Dwayne's our leader, Neil's our leader, Cab's our leader, Gons is our leader. He happens to be over there now.
Right.
That's kind of what happens in skateboarding.
But it's also too, like, the new companies come along, the cool kids kind of are over there now, right? And then
it kind of didn't happen that way. It was always you're able to get the right guy and keep the right guy. And that was changing.
Yeah. Right.
Because the model of how to do it was changing. And it wasn't a model that Stacy necessarily wanted to play.
He was more clean.
Well, not even clean. Because people say, oh, it's about the graphics or something. It's more about how you do business. Like, I want to raise this kid up and let him wait for 2 years.
Of course.
Instead of give it to him now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then you can find out who's the right guy. I don't know. I don't know. It was just a time. Don't get me wrong. It's just what it is.
Sure.
I in some ways, I think it was a great thing. In some ways, it was a horrible thing.
Who left Powell first, Rodney or Mike? Rodney went to do basically start world with
Rodney. Start here. Yeah. Rodney start. From what I understand, Rodney basically is demoing for money, writing for Powell for board sales, which you're not going to get a board sale off a freestyle board.
Right.
So he's not making any. Because it was what he was doing at that point was basically
a sideshow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Until Gons took what he did and made it the show. So he didn't get any money. Mm-hmm. He was demoing, he's doing whatever. And so I think Rocco came along and was like, I'm going to start a company and you want to be a partner? And he was basically a partner with that. And then Powell found out. He was like, hey, you can't do that.
Oh, he was double dipping.
Well, he was starting to try to dip. He wasn't getting anything.
Yeah.
Which I think makes 100% makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Rocco's coming to him and going, you're the best in the world and you've done everything and Lance Mountain is over there getting money. He was on Veriflex. You know what I mean? And,
Sure.
And that's what that's done a lot.
Yeah, of course.
I was in. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that stuff. I've heard that said to writers and stuff, and I've seen that happen. And Rocco was rad. He was fun. It was like it was new. It was changed. We can do whatever. It's yours. You can do whatever. And
Yeah.
part of that's true. It's a lot of that's true. Powell was in a place that couldn't or wouldn't go there.
Right.
Stacy was in a place that couldn't or didn't want to go there. And Rodney's gone. Tommy and Thebo see their and truthfully, Stacy came to me one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to leave the company. What are you guys going to do?"
Jeez.
Like not like, "Hey, I'm leaving. I'm dumping you. What are you going to do?" He's like, there was conversations like, I can't start another brand. I can't do that to George. I don't even know if this stuff's cool to talk about.
Oh,
People wonder about it. Though.
But everyone has a different view of it.
Yeah.
Stacy might have a different view of it. He wanted to be there, but he couldn't be there anymore.
Right.
Was he already getting into filmmaking?
The company were going in these trajections.
Mm-hmm.
Vision and Powell going, it's going to get bigger. We're going to get buildings. We're going to do these things. We're going to go here. We're going to go here. And it goes, and it's like, well, we have to like get small again. How do we get small? And it's like, it just wasn't there. And I think George was a little bit more. It's almost weird talking about because they're going to see it or say it different. But George was more like, you're not really doing what you want to do, or you should be doing films. That's what you're getting into. But I think Stacy wanted to be a part of skateboarding. It was just because I've had a conversation with him later that I was kind of almost blown away with. Like, he was almost freaked out. It's not the right words. I use the wrong words all the time. He was almost freaked out that when he did leave, no one in skateboarding reached out for him. Hey,
come work for us.
Do this, do that, work it. And I kind of was like, we thought you wanted to go.
Right.
And we saw it differently. I almost like, yeah, you're out. We're still stuck here. Like, we can't get out.
Right.
We're stuck in this mess that we no idea how to make money, how to make a living, what to do. We don't even know what to do. And so he was just like, it collapsed. The financial part of it collapsed, and the building and blah, 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 blah. And so Stacy was out, and he was just making sure that it's like, he didn't. If you talk to Stevie, he never even went to Stevie to tell him, because Stevie had this Vans contract.
Oh.
And so I don't know how Stevie sees it, but Stacy saw it as like, I don't need that. He's cool.
He's good.
Tony, Mike, and you, like, what are you going to do?
What are you going to, right?
You guys got no money. I mean, we went from 2,000 up to 20,000, and then we went, and we're all married, and we have kids, and I'm sending my kid to a school, a private school, same one I went to.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Same teachers. It's so awesome. Have a house finally, have cars. And Tony's even bigger, more stuff.
Right.
To
nothing.
You guys got basically $1,000 or less than $1,000 a month. Like, everyone's going bankrupt. Everyone's
crazy, living
off their savings. What are we going to do?
Were you saving money at the time? Were you living off your, or were you just?
I didn't make enough.
No.
No.
But you were just.
No, I had a small savings.
Okay.
Real small. No, I didn't. I just had a house, money in the house, cars. I was cool, but I didn't buy a ton of stuff that I was going to drop far, and I didn't. So I couldn't scale down to $1,000 though.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's when Stacy knew, what are you guys going to do? What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do?
Did you have an answer for him?
No. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, George was, at the same time, Pear was working there, and Pat Brennan?
Oh, yeah, Pat Brennan.
Rode for Powell. Came back from a trip, came to me, was like, George is going to give you a company, and I'm on it.
Seriously?
Pat knew that before you.
Well, the whole conversation was like, that was where it was going to go a couple of years before that. It didn't.
Okay.
And that ain't going to happen. And now that Stacy's leaving, it's collapsing. Now we're going to do it. And then I had that conversation. Like, so that was all happening. Like, what's going on? Linda was there, and he was like behind the scenes, and he was Rocco's friends, and it was a weird time. And so Stacy was like, what are you going to do? And there's even conversations of like, well, why don't we all go do something, like, I can't do that for the workers, or it's like, it's kind of time for you guys to branch out, I think, but make sure he was awesome. I think he was trying to protect skateboarding, at least mention to it, stay together, have power, have influence, so this doesn't get out of our hands, because it's out of my hands now,
right?
And it's in you guys are me now, and I knew that, and that was heavy. I was like, that's never gonna happen. I'm not you,
right?
Like, he was really good at being the middle guy. Like, we all rode for Stacy, really. Everyone, I think, would say they rode for Stacy, but George provided a way for it to happen. Sure. He made the product. He did all this. It was a great combination of things, but it was filtering off. And they were looking for a Stacy replacement. I'm nothing. I'm not him.
Right.
I'm not even diplomatic. Weird talk. I'd probably bum Stacy out all the time. I was like, that's a lie. He goes, that's being diplomatic. And I'm like, and I'd be lame, because I'd be like, to me, I can't do that. That's a lie. That's just diplomatic. You have to be, in the middle of all this mess, you have to be diplomatic. And I'm like, I can't do that.
Right.
And I'm too selfish. I'm not like Stacy. I'm selfish. It's just the kudos or whatever. It's just a tip of the hat to how awesome Stacy was, and just giving me that window, because I would never be here without that window. I would have been on Veriflex, and it would just ended, and I would have been bummed, and I got given this. And I feel guilty that I didn't pick up the reins and and be able to hold Guy. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that. It's just, I can't. But if he couldn't do it, I can't. How can I do it?
But what about this new company that they were offering you?
Oh, I'm going to do that.
You said no.
But I went to meeting after meeting, because they were saying, what are you going to do? And I'm like, but
if you had nothing,
they went straight up.
They have a name picked out?
No. George actually called me up and said, hey, we're going to give you this company. Right. You and your wife can move up here and work in the warehouse and learn some computers and do this, and give me the name of the company, your rider ideas. And I'm just playing along going, oh gosh. And I had talked to Costin. It was funny. I had talked to Costin. I was like, hey, Eric, if I ever start a company, would you ride for it? No, I'd never leave 8th Street. Matt Hensley was on the list. I didn't even bother asking.
No, you didn't.
And I'm sitting looking at this going, this is what Stacy would do anyways. He wouldn't go cherry pick the other teams. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to do any of this.
But if you didn't have anything though, weren't you even considering?
Of course I'm considering. I have my list.
Yeah, okay. I have my list. Okay, you had your list. Right.
Calling Ray Barbie because he wanted to. He was like, "What do I want to be? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Can I ride for that team they're going to give you?" Or I was like, "Maybe." Do you know that's really bad to say to Ray. Ray was like, I was probably like, "Ray, would you ride for this team?" But Ray was a possibility. Colin was on the team at the time.
Colin McKay?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And he was like, there was murmurings of like, "Hey, maybe Colin would want to be on it," and maybe you know. And then I was like, "Well, Matt Hensley or Costin, Colin, Ray." Maybe I could do something like that.
Not a bad squad.
Maybe Wade Spire. No, I'm trying to come up with names. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, that's that meeting. I don't think I even told George anything. It's like I was just like in shock, going, I'm not going to tell him I'm not going to do it because I don't know what I'm doing.
Just deer in headlights.
Yeah. Then I get a call from Rocco.
Yeah, right.
Actually, it might have been through Nadas, because Nadas and I were hanging out a little bit at that point. And I'm like, "Hey, we want to take you on a boat to Catalina."
Rocco says this.
Yeah.
What are you thinking in your head? Are you like,
Well, I already know the deal. I already know the deal. Like, all this stuff is like, I swear, I don't know if I swear, but I swear, I think I just make up all this stuff in my head. This never happened. None of this happened.
So you're on the boat to Catalina.
Mark Gonzalez at this point calls me and goes like, "I'm going to leave blind. Why don't you take over the team?"
Oh, really?
And I'm like, "That's a possibility. This is a possibility. Dude, I don't know what to do." So going to Catalina.
Yeah.
Rodney, Per Willander, Nadas, and Rocco are there. I'm like, okay, what did I just step into?
Yeah.
I thought Per worked for Powell.
Wow.
Like, so we went and played the whole time, and I'm like, we just played, surfed. I mean, anyone that's ridden for World knows the gig. Like, come play with the toys.
Little vacation.
See how much better it is here.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Right.
I guess. So anyways, I end up at Rocco's, and I don't know if Per is even there anymore. I don't think Nadas is there anymore. Just Rocco and Rodney. And they're like, "So what are you going to do?" What do you mean? You know, we know everyone's leaving Powell. You're going to get a company. It's like, why don't you bring the company here? I was like, I can hear it right now. I remember him saying, like, if you don't, we'll just take the guys anyway. We were going to take Colin anyways. Eric's not going to ride for you. He's going to ride for 101. We'll just take Ray.
It's amazing.
Hensley would never ride for you anyways.
Oh my God.
Or something. I'm like, did I mention that to George? Maybe I did mention that to George. Did Per tell him?
Right. What is going on?
I saw your list.
That's kind of something. I was like, I don't even know. He's like, he basically said, "Why don't you come do something here? Like, you're basically the last one that we want. We've gotten everybody else."
Right.
And then it turned into the conversation of where my heart really was. I was just like, I want to be with the best. I want to be around the best. I want to have influence with the best. And I want to keep doing what I love doing.
Exactly.
But I don't know how to do it here. I really don't know how I personally can do it here. Like,
didn't feel right.
You got everybody. I want to, but in the position, the Stacy position, not as a rider, as in some sort of control. I'll straight out say it. I know you got hookers and prostitutes for 13-year-old kids to get them off other teams.
Right.
Damn.
And everything's a go. There's no right or wrong. It's just, and then I think the conversation of we don't like drugs. And I was like, I understand. I'm not saying you guys are bad people.
It's not your belief system.
I have a belief system or a place in my life where I can or can't go or don't even want to.
Sure.
And then I had quite a long conversation with Rodney about. I love Rodney. I love Rodney. I do.
Yeah.
I don't know him that well, but at this point, it was like a crazy time. We had a long, real intellectual discussion of how there is no right and wrong, and there's relative and all this stuff. And I got to the point, I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, and I think he was kind of like, you're playing games with me, and what do you know? And I'm like, I know there's a right and wrong for me.
Sure.
And it doesn't mean, and it's like, even if everyone has their limits or their places or whatever, but it's just, I just struggled with it. I was like, I just can't see me being
Can't
here.
be a part of that.
And I wanted to so bad.
Huh.
Well, I knew what it meant. It meant that I didn't have to starve.
Sure.
And they're like, we don't even want you to do that anyways. We're going to make this brand new magazine. We want you and not us to do it. That's what we want you to do.
Seriously?
Yes. And it was like, the offer really, I think, ultimately wasn't having the brand there, wasn't doing the blind thing, because that came up and he was like, oh, no, Mark's gone, that's mine, I'm taking care of that. It was basically, you could have like an alternative brand here that, like, you can be the good brand in here. Oh, no, you know what, that probably won't even work anyways. The conversation was like, we're going to start this magazine, we think you and Nodis can do it.
Could you imagine the Lance Bailey? What are you going to be? The editor of Big Brother?
Yeah. So I'm still freaked out, confused, going, what is going on? Having dreams, wondering, like, praying, like talking to the Lord, like, what is going on?
What's a time frame?
Having arguments with the Lord. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I bet.
They're great prayers.
But I mean, like, what's a time frame? Well, how long is this going on for?
It feels like years, but from the point I knew I had to do something to when I got boards was 6 months. I was 6 months without money.
6 months. Okay.
But the period from here to there was probably 2 months.
Oh.
Because it probably takes about 3 months to get boards. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
Maybe it was quicker then. I don't even know. It's such a blur.
How long were you battling with if you should do it or not do it? Or
one conversation with my wife.
That was it.
I'll be straight out honest. I had this dream. You're going to trip out.
Okay.
You're going to go, this guy's a weirdo. I instantly woke up and I had this dream of Jonah. This is a story in the Bible.
Oh.
Where the Lord asked this guy to go prophesy and tell this nation that is real evil, the Lord loves you and turn, change, da-da-da. And he was like, I ain't going. I don't want to go there. I hate those people. And if I do, they're going to change, and I don't even want them to change. That was kind of the conversation Jonah had with God.
Okay.
And he split the other way and got swallowed by a giant fish.
Oh.
Or probably a grouper or a shark fish or whatever, a whale or whatever they can call a whale. And spit up. And got,
a grouper.
It's massive, whatever. Whale. Spits him up on Nineveh, and he goes and does it. And he's mad, and he's frustrated. And he's whatever, he talks to him, the nation repents and changes and it's good, and then years later it goes back. I had that dream about this story in the Bible.
Really?
I'm doing what I'm doing now. And my wife was like, oh, you can't do that, you'll never be happy. Like, I love his cars. I would love you to do it. We'd have money.
Sure.
She's driven around in his Ferraris before. Like,
Right.
She's like, you can't do it.
No.
You just can't. You know you can't do it.
Yeah.
So just put it out of your mind and just bury it. It's one of those interesting things in life, and
crazy.
You're not able to do it. So I was like, wow, okay, can't do that. Don't want to do that. What? Now I'm empty. Now what?
Start your own company.
Well, I was like kind of in that process of that's kind of all I have to do, like, or go get a job or do that. And I was just like, I'll tell you this other biblical one too. I went to my pastor friend. I don't even really know him that well, but he's and I just said, here's the scenario. What do I need answers. I got no answers. I believe in the Lord. I believe this stuff. I don't got answers. Here's how the industry works. It's not possible to do that. It's like, you have to go with Rocco.
You're like explaining to
have
him.
to.
Yeah.
There was no other way. Like, you can't do your own company. I don't want to do my own company.
Okay.
What should I do in this scenario? And he leaves the room and he comes back and he has 4 boxes this big of the tapes. And they're just tapes at that time of the Bible, commentary on the Bible.
Didn't even say he just gave you the...
Here's your answer.
Yeah.
I knew what he was saying. I knew whatever. It's like, the Lord has the answers. Just spend time with the Lord. Like, that's who you are. I'm not saying that people don't know that. Like, that's the answer for everyone, even if you don't know it. But the people who do know it, you better get doing that.
Basically, all signs were pointing.
So I was just
To
like,
no.
Lord, like, what
You
do I
can't
do,
do this.
man? I don't even have any money. Like, I don't even want to do this. I do want to do this, but I want to do it the right, like, and I was just like, I know I can't be in business with someone that thinks completely different.
Right.
I can work for someone. No one's offered me anything except for Big Brother, which it wasn't. Okay, I'm going to go to the bank tomorrow, and if I can get a loan, I'm going to just start do a company, I guess.
Wow.
And like, luckily, rad, Lord, that ain't going to happen.
No loan?
Can I get a loan for 80 grand? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Call up. I was like, you bet. We ordered boards. We got a company. I think that's how we're going to pay the bills.
Did you even have a name?
Oh, yeah. I
had
have pages of pages of names.
Okay.
And at the same, like, I've ordered boards. Order from Taylor?
Taylor
Taylor
Dyke.
Taylor Dykema. Ordered boards.
Graphics?
They don't even draw yet.
Okay.
No, because I'm going to take them to Squeegee's. Just get boards before I even know what I'm going to do.
Gotcha.
Order. Then Pear comes to me and Tony is like, hey, we're leaving too. We're going to do a brand. We're going to do a distribution. Da-da-da. You should be part of it. Da-da-da. I was like, oh, maybe that's what I do. Oh, there's the answer. Go down there. Just start working on a warehouse. Like putting walls up with Frank Hawk. Like,
Yeah?
Building Birdhouse.
came home and I was like, I ain't doing that.
No.
After I already said I would.
Why?
I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Why?
I was just in business with some, like, I would be in business again with someone that doesn't believe the same as me, but can't do it as good as Rocco. You know what I mean? Like, why are you doing this to me, God? Like,
Right.
What are you doing? Like, can't I just skateboard? Is there anyone that wants this guy? No one wants me to skateboard.
And
for
how old are you at this point?
91.
91 years old.
You know, you're so good.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's easier than doing math. I don't know.
64 to 91.
64,
29?
91.
Let me get my
Oh.
calculator.
I think 29 already.
Wait, you said 91?
Yeah.
So it's 70, and it's 6. It's 27.
Skateboarders are. Rodney, where are you? This is where we need Rodney.
I know.
Sounds like 27.
Okay, 27
You know
to
what?
29. I mean,
This
it's-
conversation with Rodney ruled.
It's
It was
yeah.
just defining, and you know what? We've had conversations later that he's like, doesn't. I don't think he thinks that way anymore.
No, it's
Which is rad. I'm 27. Wow.
It's kind of crazy to think about, though.
What, young or old?
It's young.
young.
Oh, I thought you meant you're
No,
that
dude.
old and you're still skating.
No,
I
dude.
don't know.
Oh no, I thought that. Like, oh man, I remember we were at 18. I was still on I was on Veriflex,
Mm-hmm.
skating with Neil. I might have been younger than 18. It was when the Gold Cup, whatever, and we just looked at each other and we're like, "Man, that was fun, huh? It's over.
So we're old.
It's over."
Yeah. Well, because back then too,
It's over.
it was people were.
And so when you say 27, I'm
quick.
like, "Oh gosh, I was way over." Like, what extended? Why you're gonna try to start something new and pretend you're part of this thing, especially when it's this new thing. I mean, I love Mike V. Mike V's awesome. Like, I possibly think I actually the one that got him on Powell. Pretty sure.
Oh,
Neil pointed him out to me one day where we're at Virginia Beach, and he had a destroyed board. I don't know if it was mine or not, but I just had mine in the trunk. I was like, here you go. New board. Came to the parking lot. He was doing the stuff in the parking lot at Virginia Beach, and I was like, Stacy, that's the kid I gave the board to. And then he was on Powell.
there you go.
And because I was that Stacy guy, it was like Mike came out to California, and I was going to take him street skating and show him spots. And Stacy was filming still, but I was being the middle and Mike V was like, "Can't skate with Lance. He's no good. I'll ride for Mike. I want to ride with Mark Gonzalez.
Yeah, right.
Totally.
Wow.
Totally. Which is true. I mean, I want like, it's true. Like, what if, just think about it. It's totally true.
I want to skate with Lance Mountain.
No, you got to, no. It was
I know what you're saying.
I know what you're saying for sure.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, it's just, but it's hard for us to imagine that right now.
Well, because he's explained it. He's
Yeah.
explained it very well before. He's like, I wanted to ride for this. I thought this was a thing. I got there. It wasn't that anymore.
Wasn't that.
We went on a tour. I remember we went on a tour, and he was bright-eyed and ready to go, and like loved it. And he was so bummed on us. We're jaded. We're old. We got to the train station. They didn't pick us up, and I probably was being Lance like, I just want to go home. It's lame, and he was so bummed, like, oh gosh, you guys were not the guys I thought you were. I love Mike rules. It was fresh. He was ready to go, and I was like, I came here when I was 13.
Sure.
I've actually been here
that.
15 times.
Right.
And it wasn't to walk on my hands. It wasn't to walk on my hands.
Sure.
I'm jump ramping and trying to do street plants right now. Kind of cool, kind of fun.
I'd rather be home.
I wanted to be in the dog bowl with Alpha. Not that I didn't move and change and want to be, but it's like sometimes it's just, I don't know, whatever. But we were turds. He was just straight out, like, he's honest. He's like, yeah, you guys are you're not who I thought you were. You're lame. You're not into it. You're not cool. He was so excited to do it, and
so
you love how I got over there.
No, I love it. I love it. But now we're going to bring you back
Where
over
were
here.
we? Where were we?
We were talking about
the
firm.
You ordered boards.
Yeah, you just said ordered boards.
You got,
and you told your wife that she's going to call people
How do we
to
get
sell
over
them.
back there? I love it. It's so I'm so lame. I'm going to go on a couple more tangents. The rules.
That's fine.
Please do.
Somehow, Big Brother started.
Yeah.
First issue comes out. I see how crazy it already is. My boards come in, not just the sample boards.
Production boards.
I get a call. This is so weird. This is one of the things I was like, I make this stuff up. But I have the paper.
Okay.
Jason Lee calls me.
Jason Lee.
He goes, we all want to leave blind. We want to ride for you.
wow.
And I was like, oh, wow, this is exactly what we always wanted.
Was he on your list?